Joe Biden is 81 and definitely not thriving. The President of the United States has had another humiliating week, which have many questioning why he's not swapping the White House for a nursing home. Sky News All-Stars Rita, Panahi and Liz Storer take a look at Joe Biden's humiliating geriatric moments caught on camera. Joe Biden is in the thick of a presidential race. He should be at the peak of his career, physically and mentally sharp as a tack. Unfortunately, his 81 years have caught up with him, and the result is an old man whose body and mind is failing him, but who refuses to give up on power. We all remember the cringeworthy stumbles up and down stairs that have punctuated Biden's leadership over the years. Well, the Democrats have finally decided to do something about it. The president was given anti-slip shoes to give him greater stability, reveals Sky News All-Star Liz Storer.
Check out this, speaking of Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats. Joe Biden, get this, Liz and Caleb, he's got new shoes.
Oh.
These shoes are called, what are they called? They're called
transport.
Yes, transport shoes for greater stability, because of course we know Donald Trump continually trips up. In fact, I read today that...
So Biden continually trips up.
So what did I say?
Trump.
Donald Trump. See, I'm giving Democrats talking points.
Hang on, James, have you had a cognitive test recently? You're not Joe Biden by any chance, are you?
I'm fine. I was reading Secret Service agents are now positioned at the bottom of stairs when Biden is walking down, just in case he slips. So these new shoes are supposed to add stability so that he doesn't topple over.
Right. They do look very stable. I think the hush puppies could buy into this idea, actually. The shoe of comfort of choice. But just so that you're reminded how often this guy trips, take a look at this footage. I mean, it's almost happens more often than not. He's taken some really bad tumbles, and because he's not a small guy as well, he's got actually quite a ways to fall when he does miss a step. Here he is tripping several times, just trying to board Air Force One. This is the leader of the free world. And look, if he was mentally sound, which he's proven many times that he's not, on several occasions he still thinks his son Beau is alive, or claims that he died in the war as opposed to from cancer. There are innumerable opportunities now that people can just bring up and just be like, this shows that this guy hasn't got all his marbles. If it was just the tripping, I wouldn't mind. Wear your sturdy shoes, get around on crutches. In fact, have one of those things that 4 people have to carry and you're sat up there like Queen of Sheba. I don't care, as long as you've got all your faculties about you, and this guy doesn't, and that's the problem.
And it's not only his physical ailments that are causing concern. Joe Biden's mental stability has never been worse. Take a look at his recent St. Patrick's Day speech at the White House.
Great to have you here, and it's very happy to see Northern Ireland's Executive Assembly reinstated last month. Now Northern Ireland is a fully functioning government again, and I didn't admit your colleague. Young people in Northern Ireland represent the great peace dividend of the Belfast Good Friday Agreement.
Biden also struggled with his words the week prior in Milwaukee.
Look, the communities everywhere and at this Boys and Girls Club, by the way, I've been a gigantic supporter of Boys and Girls, just the biggest in the country. But when I was a senator, I provided a lot of money during the crime sprees were going on for Boys and Girls Club.
Sky News All-Star Rita Panahi mocked the president for his less than convincing display of strength while out on the campaign trail, saying that he should be living out his golden years in a retirement village.
But first, let's check in on the leader of the free world. Look at that confident gait. He is as fit as a fiddle in body and mind. 4 more years, no problems there. America's enemies must be terrified of this man's strength and mental faculties. You just know China, Russia, Iran are watching on, quivering in fear.
Mr. President, do you agree with Chuck Schumer that Netanyahu should go?
Look, let's not judge too quickly. Let's see if we get an answer there to the journalist's question about whether the president supports his colleague Democrat Chuck Schumer's call for regime change in Israel. Regime change not in Gaza, Israel. This clip should inspire supreme confidence in the Commander-in-Chief. Oh dear God, if that man is fit to be president, then I'm a bluefin tuna. That is a man who should be enjoying his golden years, having ice cream and pudding in a retirement facility, not the White House. Or could we combine the two?
At White House Senior Living, our residents feel right at home. Our vibrant facility offers delightful activities and outings, round-the-clock professional care, and exquisite house-made meals.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating all Italian food, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
White House Senior Living, where residents feel like presidents.
Oh, goodness me. Beautiful bit of satire there.
Possibly the most humiliating of all Joe Biden gaffes is when he asks permission from his handlers to do simple tasks like answer questions after a speech.
Anyway, am I allowed to take any questions? Anybody here to stay?
Stop it.
And it happened again in Michigan.
We're going to take a few questions.
Thank you, press. Thank you so much. Back in the vehicles. Back to the cars. Thank you. Back to the cars. We're happy to watch all vehicles this way. Thank you. All good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We got to go.
And this time, Jill Biden was forced to intervene when her husband looked to be getting very close to another woman. The recent findings by Special Counsel Robert Hur into Biden's mishandling of documents has also revealed some humiliating truths about the president's mental state, says Sky News US correspondent Annalise Nielsen.
So you'll remember this was the report done by the Special Prosecutor Robert Hur into the allegations against Joe Biden that he mishandled classified documents when he left office as vice president, similar to what we've seen Donald Trump caught up in. And so what we've seen today is some pretty pointed questions in this hearing that went for about 5 hours with questions to the special prosecutor about whether he should have included the descriptions of Joe Biden's memory as being failing.
You could have chosen just to comment on the president's particular recall vis-a-vis a document or a set of documents, but you decided to go further and make a generalized statement about his memory, didn't you?
Congressman, I could have written my report theoretically in a way that omitted references to the president's memory, but that would have been an incomplete and improper report.
Robert Hur said it went to the heart of the idea of criminality and that you have to have intention, and that would have been difficult to prove with Joe Biden's memory issues. One of the other interesting moments from this hearing was from another Democrat representative who wanted to ask about the case and make the point that Joe Biden was exonerated by this report finding, but Robert Hur disagreed with that.
So this lengthy, expensive, and independent investigation resulted in a complete exoneration of President Joe Biden. For every document you discussed in your report, you found insufficient evidence.
I need to go back and make sure that I take note of the word that you used, exoneration. That is not a word that
I'm
appears
going to
in the
continue
report.
with
That's
my
not part of my
questions.
task as a
I'm going to
prosecutor.
continue with my questions. I know that the term
I ultimately reached
I know that
whether
the term
sufficient evidence existed such that the likely outcome
you exonerated
would be a conviction.
I know that
did not
the term
exonerate him.
willful
That word does not appear in
retention
the
has a
report, Congressman.
Mr. Hur, it's my time.
The representative didn't like that answer. An exoneration is a declaration of innocence, which this report didn't do. They said that they couldn't, on the evidence, proceed with a trial. And so that's quite an important distinction, but this will be at the heart of the election upcoming in November, as Joe Biden is the candidate for the Democrats.